The average American household quietly loses over $7,400 every single year on 7 everyday purchases that are mathematically no longer worth the money. That's almost $620 a month, disappearing into things that used to make sense but simply don't anymore. And the strangest part? You already know most of these are a bad deal. You just haven't done the math yet. By the time we're done here, you'll see exactly where that money is going, dollar by dollar, and I'll show you what happens when you redirect even half of it. My name is Nick, and I create easy-to-understand animated videos about personal finance. If that's something that interests you, consider subscribing. Here's the thing. There's an invisible force draining your bank account every single month, and it doesn't show up as one big charge. It shows up as dozens of tiny, reasonable purchases that nobody questions. I call it the convenience tax. It's the silent markup you pay for not spending 10 minutes doing the math. Corporations understand this tax perfectly. They've spent billions engineering products and services designed to feel like small, harmless purchases. But when you add them up over a year, over a decade, over a lifetime, the number will genuinely shock you, and I haven't even gotten to the worst one yet. That's coming at the end. Let's start with the one that's going to make you feel a little silly. Number 7. Bottled water. A single bottle of water at a convenience store costs you about $1.50 for 16 ounces. That works out to roughly $7.50 per gallon. You know what a gallon of tap water costs? Half a penny. Not 50 cents, half a penny. That means bottled water is approximately 1,500 times more expensive than the water already flowing through your kitchen sink. Let's do the math on what this actually costs you. Say you buy 1 bottle of water a day. That's reasonable, right? Most people do it without thinking. $1.50 times 365 days equals $547.50 a year on water. The same water, by the way. Multiple studies have confirmed that most bottled water is tap water, just filtered and put in plastic. Now, you might be thinking, it's only $1.50, that's nothing. But let's put that $547 into an index fund earning 7% annually. Over 10 years, that's almost $8,000. Over 30 years, that 1 bottle a day habit costs you nearly $55,000 on water that was practically free from your faucet. Buy a $20 water filter. It pays for itself in 4 days, but it gets worse. Number 6. Brand name groceries. The average American family of 4 spends about $12,000 a year on groceries. That's roughly $1,000 a month, but here's what almost nobody realizes. Store brand products are, on average, 40% cheaper than their name brand equivalents. And before you say, but the quality is different, listen to this. Over 80% of consumers now rate store brand food quality as equal to or better than national brands. That's not my opinion. That's from industry research across thousands of products. Let me show you what 40% actually looks like in your cart. A box of name brand cereal costs $5.49. The store brand right next to it, $2.49. That's a 55% difference on one box. Olive oil, name brand, $8.99. Store brand, $4.99. 44% savings. Now scale that across your entire grocery bill. If you swap just 60% of your groceries to store brand, that's $7,200 worth of swappable items. At 40% savings, you keep $2,880 in your pocket every single year. Over 10 years, invested at 7%, that $2,880 a year turns into over $41,000. And all you did was reach for the shelf below. And I haven't even gotten to the worst part yet. Number 5. Extended warranties. This is a $48.4 billion industry. Read that number again. $48.4 billion. And it exists because of one emotion: fear. Fear that your new TV will break. Fear that your car will need a major repair. Fear that you'll be stuck with a huge bill. But here's what the data actually says. Only 1 in 10 people who buy an extended car warranty ever use it. 1 in 10. The average extended car warranty costs $2,800. And even when people do file a claim, 35% of those claims are denied. Consumer Reports found that the median car warranty buyer actually loses $375 compared to just paying for repairs out of pocket. It gets worse for electronics. Extended warranty claims make up only 2.7% of all product sales. That means for every 100 products sold with a warranty, fewer than 3 people ever need it. And 65% of people who buy extended warranties say they regret it. Here's the math the sales associate doesn't want you to see. You buy a $600 TV with a $100 extended warranty. That warranty covers years 2 and 3. The probability of your TV breaking in that window? About 3%. The expected value of that warranty is $600 times 3%, which equals $18. You paid $100 for $18 of expected coverage. The retailer keeps $82 of pure profit. Every single time. Now, you might be thinking, but what about peace of mind? Here's what actually gives you peace of mind. Take the money you would have spent on warranties and put it in a separate savings account. Call it your repair fund. After a few years, you'll have thousands of dollars sitting there, earning interest, covering any repair that comes up, and you keep the money if nothing breaks. But we're only halfway through. Number 4. Cable television. The average cable TV bill in America hit $147 a month in 2024. That's $1,764 a year. But here's the part that will make your head spin. The average cable subscriber wastes $135 a month on channels they literally never watch. That's $1,620 a year paying for content you never see. You are subsidizing 700 channels so you can watch 12. Let's compare. 2 or 3 streaming services, which give you tens of thousands of shows and movies on demand, cost between $30 and $45 a month. Call it $40. That's $480 a year. The savings? $1,284 a year just by cutting the cable cord. Over 10 years, invested at 7%, that's over $18,500. And here's what makes this even crazier. Cable prices have been increasing 10 to 15% every single year for the past decade. That means your $147 bill this year becomes roughly $170 next year, and almost $200 the year after that. Meanwhile, streaming services are competing against each other to keep prices low. 73% of people who cut cable say the reason was simple. It costs too much for what you get. They did the math. Now you have too. Number 3. Fast fashion. The average American spends about $1,800 a year on clothing. That sounds high, but when you break it down to the per-item math, it gets ugly fast. The average fast fashion item costs $28. Sounds cheap, right? But studies show the average fast fashion piece gets worn only 7 times before it's thrown away. That means the real cost, the cost per wear, is $4 every time you put it on. Now compare that to a quality garment. Say you spend $80 on a well-made shirt. You wear it 100 times over 3 or 4 years. The cost per wear? 80 cents. The cheap shirt is 5 times more expensive per use than the expensive one, but it gets worse. Because fast fashion falls apart, you have to replace it. So that $28 shirt you bought in March, you're buying it again in September, and again next spring. 3 purchases at $28 equals $84 for a shirt you could have bought once in better quality for $80. If you buy 50 fast fashion items a year at $28, that's $1,400. Switch to 15 quality pieces at $80, and you spend $1,200. You save $200, and your clothes last 4 to 5 times longer. The fast fashion industry produces over 80 billion items a year. They are not selling you clothes. They're selling you replacement cycles. I am not done yet. Number 2. Gym memberships and forgotten subscriptions. The average gym membership costs $69 a month. That's $828 a year. Now here's the number that should make every gym owner nervous. 67% of gym memberships are never used. 2 out of every 3 people paying for a gym never go. 50% of new members quit within 6 months, but keep paying because canceling is intentionally designed to be difficult. Let's multiply that out. $828 times 67% unused equals $555 a year per person, going absolutely nowhere. But the gym is just the tip of this iceberg. Add in forgotten streaming subscriptions. The average American household now pays for 5.4 subscription services. That's about $52 a month or $624 a year, and studies show that people consistently underestimate their subscription spending by 2.5 times. You think you're spending $20 a month on subscriptions. You're actually spending over $50. Here's what the passive drain looks like. Unused gym, $555. Forgotten or barely used streaming services, let's conservatively say $180 to $240 a year. about $15 to $20 a month you forgot about. That's $735 to $795 a year in subscriptions you are not actively using, just silently leaving your bank account every month. This week, open your bank statement. Search for every recurring charge. I guarantee you'll find at least two you forgot existed. And now we've arrived at the worst one, the one nobody wants to hear. Number 1. Food delivery apps. This is the king of the convenience tax. The average American spends between $1,566 and $1,850 a year on food delivery. Millennials, over $4,150 a year, and that number is climbing fast, but the dollar amount isn't even the real problem. The real problem is the markup. Let me walk you through what actually happens when you order a $32 meal through a delivery app. The food itself costs $32 on the restaurant's menu, but on the app, that same meal is often listed at $35 to $38 because restaurants raise their app prices to cover the 20 to 30% commission the platform charges them. So you're already paying more before any fees are added. Then the app adds a delivery fee. That's usually $3 to $6. Let's say $5. Then there's a service fee, another $3 to $4. Then, because you're a decent person, you tip the driver, another $5 to $7. Let's add it up. $35 for the marked up food, plus $5 delivery fee, plus $4 service fee, plus $6 tip equals $50. You just paid $50 for a $32 meal. That's a 56% markup, for the privilege of not driving 10 minutes. If you order delivery 3.7 times a month, which is the national average, that's roughly $18 in fees per order, times 3.7 times 12 months. That's almost $800 a year in fees alone. Not food, just the fees, the tips, the markups. Over 10 years, at 7%, that's over $11,000. Gone. For the convenience of staying on your couch. Now, you might be thinking, I don't have time to pick up food. Fair enough. But let's compare. Cooking that same $32 restaurant meal at home costs about $10 to $12 in ingredients. That's a $20 difference per meal. Cook at home 3 extra times a week, and you save over $3,000 a year. So let's zoom out. Let's add up the convenience tax across all 7 items. Bottled water, $547 a year. Brand name groceries, $2,880. Extended warranties, about $560. Cable TV, $1,284. Fast fashion, $600. Unused subscriptions and gym memberships, about $795. Food delivery fees, about $800. Total, $7,466 a year. That's $622 a month. Silently vanishing, not into investments, not into experiences, not into anything that builds your future, into convenience that corporations specifically designed to feel painless. Now here's where it gets powerful. What if you redirected even half of that? $3,700 a year, invested in a simple index fund averaging 7% annual returns. After 10 years, you'd have over $53,000. After 20 years, over $160,000. After 30 years, just half, of your convenience tax savings turns into over $350,000. You don't need a side hustle. You don't need to win the lottery. You need to stop paying the convenience tax on things that are no longer worth your money. The system relies on you being too tired, too busy, or too distracted to spend 10 minutes doing this math. But now you've done it, and you can't unsee it. This isn't about being cheap. This isn't about living like a monk. It's about understanding the difference between spending money on things that make your life better and spending money on things that only make someone else richer. Here's what I want you to do this week. Just this week, pull up your bank statement from last month, highlight every charge on this list, add them up. That number is your personal convenience tax, and once you see it, you'll never look at these 7 things the same way again. If this video helped you think differently about even one of these everyday expenses, subscribe. I make videos like this every single week, breaking down the money math that nobody else will show you. I'll see you in the next one.